story is that back in 1922 in October, my father, Colonel Treloar, was appointed the Commissioner for Refugees for Macedonia and Thrace, and he drew up plans for the settlement of 500,000 refugees. As it turned out, he became responsible for about 108,000 refugees who were settled in Macedonia and Thrace. At the time, the land was mostly rather dusty land that was being grazed by the Muslim population, animals. But of course, with so many people coming in, the land use had to be intensified, and so he established many new villages, of which 13, we believe, were Pontian villages. And Thrylório is one of those Pontian villages, and it is named after my father, Colonel Trelоар. It was not called Τρελόριο because of the unfortunate coincidence that Trelos means crazy. The village down the road, which is now called Roditis, was called Proction, and that was named after Colonel Proctor, who was the more senior Commissioner for Refugees in Constantinople. And that was not called Proctorion for the obvious reason, which I needn't explain.
Okay.
It was called Proction. But back in about the 1970s, when there was a move to remove all foreign names of places, Proction was changed to Roditis, but we were very happy, of course, that Thrylorio remained with its original name. But the people in Thrylorio actually had forgotten that that was the origin and thought that it came from Thrylos legend. But Professor Sergis from the Democritus University did some very valuable research in the Greek archives and the League of Nations archives in Geneva to such an extent that he knew more about our family history here than we did. We of course always knew that Thrylorio was named after our family because my father left a collection, an amazing collection of about 100 photographs, including the original primary negatives, which are quite tiny little negatives. And so when Professor Sergis contacted us to invite us to come here 10 years ago, I thought, well, I'd better find the negatives. And when I looked at them, I thought, oh, they've all deteriorated and they're no good. But I bought a very, very expensive scanner and put the negatives in the scanner, and they were perfect. And so I produced an A4 print of each one of the negatives and donated them to the people of Thrylorio. Unbeknown to us, they are absolutely unique photographic archive, and even the Greek archives, people who came all the way here to look at the photographs said that in the whole world there are no photographs equal to these, which show the refugees in real time, collapsed on the beach, arriving, living in cardboard boxes. I'm talking about the ones who walked from eastern Thrace to western Thrace. They were very catastrophic times. My father immediately set to work, and in just 2 years he had all these refugees settled. He had established many industries, planting mulberry trees for silk, establishing carpet weaving, knotting industries, cutting timber, providing laundry services for the Greek army, which had to retreat from eastern Thrace to western Thrace, and were milling around here in a state created some confusion, but the Greek army cooperated brilliantly with my father in the building of the first houses in these villages. And of course, after 2 years, this work was taken over by the Greek Refugee Commission. So we are very proud of my father's role in achieving so much in just 2 years, which is not much time to settle 108,000 people. He established labour bureaus, he and his staff. One of his staff was Baron Karma Kaufmann, who was centred in Constantinople, and they established labour bureaus so that every refugee had to record what his abilities were, and then attempts were made to have the carpenters doing carpentry, the farmers becoming farmers, the girls who were skilled at knotting carpets to start making carpets, and so on. Would you like to ask me a question?
What about the festival?
The festival? Oh, yes. What about the festival? Well, when we came here 10 years ago for the first time with my brother, who is now aged 90 and unfortunately can't travel, we were completely blown away by the festival here, especially the Pontian dancing, especially the battle dances of the male Pontian dancers with the older Dauli, sorry. Especially the beating of the drum and the fierce martial style of dancing, and the beautiful costumes of the women dancers as they glided gracefully around in the background in some of the dances. You could hardly see their feet moving at all. So the whole experience 10 years ago was completely overwhelming. My brother made a terrible mistake, and when he got home he said to his wife, that was the best month in my life. His wife was not here, and she thought, what about our honeymoon? Wasn't that better? No, the best time of my life was coming to Trellorio. And so now, he was 80 then, I'm 80 now, and so it's very fitting that exactly 10 years later I've come here with my family. These are my daughters here, and we're going to present a plaque with my father's photograph on it, and his Gold Knight's Cross of the Order of the Redeemer reproduced on it, and a text which we hope the people of Thryllorio appreciate, which we've had translated into Greek by the official embassy translator in Australia. We just are full of admiration for Chrissa Labridu and the rest of the committee here, who so energetically maintain the traditions of Pompos, not only here, but right across Greece. And one of the examples, of course, is today, where we have people from various Pontian settlements across Greece having a master chef competition. And so we're going to go around and enjoy all these Pontian dishes, some of which to our taste are extremely unusual, but we love eating different flavours. It's a family habit, and we have deliberately brought with us not only my daughters, but also my three grandsons, in the hope that as the decades go forward into the future, they will come and meet the new generations of people in Trellorio. And so, for example, we have our friend here and our daughters, not quite the same age, but very same temperament. And so we've been swimming together at Maronia, where being Australians, of course, we all went swimming. Our hosts sat in the sun and watched the swimming. Yes.
Να πούν λίγο δύο λόγια και οι κυρίες. Τι να τους ρωτήσω, είναι οι κόρες.
Πώς βλέπουν
Okay. Could you please tell us a few words about the people of Trellorio and about your visit?
We are quite overwhelmed by our visit to Thrylaurio. We have heard growing up for many years stories about what our grandfather did and the work, his important work settling refugees in this area, and particularly the connection with the Pontian community. So it's magnificent, it's wonderful to be here, to meet people from the Pontian community and to see how much work you have all done to keep alive your traditions. Despite difficult times in the past, right through to today, your community is so strong. And that's wonderful to see. It's very moving for us to see that.
Yes, so we absolutely loved our time in Trelaurio. We've still got another couple of days. The family was all together last night for a rehearsal for the Pontian dancing, and I know that we all felt very moved that through the efforts of people like Lisa and the community, and obviously through my grandfather's role in resettling the refugees, that all of the traditions of the Pontian community have been kept alive. And certainly my son and Penny's two sons are very keen already to come back to Comatini and Thrilaurio and to continue the link, which is not just a link with our family, it's a link to Australia, and a very, very strong link. And in a world that is currently being torn apart, it's...
Okay. Thank you.